Welcome everyone. Welcome if you're joining us live here at Zoom or Facebook Live. So to start off, we would like to introduce ourselves. So my name is Tony. This is Gabby, and we will be co-presenting the Emotions and Motion Wellness Workshop. So Gabby will be starting off with our very first slide.
So it's really important now that we're discussing emotional wellness to really understand what emotional wellness really is. Emotional wellness is the ability to handle life stresses and to adapt to difficult life events. Next.
So why is emotional wellness important? Because when you ignore it, they affect you from many different levels. It's not just your emotional health, they can affect your psychological health, and they can affect your physiological health. So emotional health is important to me because it's always something that I ignored in the past 2 decades of my life. And just recently, I decided to really not ignore it and really focus on it and know that emotion isn't something that I can numb out of my life. And I really would say that there was a big change in my life after I decided to face my emotions.
Yeah, Tony, that's amazing. Why emotional wellness is really important to me is I've seen it in my classmates, I've seen it in my friends, I've seen it in my family. If you ignore focusing on your emotional wellness, it can eat at you mentally and physically. You can feel the tension in your body start to tense up just because of all that stress and anxiety that is building up. So it's really important to start focusing on it and really seize the moment and try to make it all better. Next. So how can you ensure optimal emotional wellness? Well, there's multiple ways. So first, you have to start caring about yourself. You have to start giving yourself a self-care routine. And with that, you have to acknowledge and face your negative thoughts. That can be with writing it in a journal or talking out loud or in your head saying, whatever I'm feeling, I can combat this in any way possible. Another important thing that as college students, I know we don't get enough of is sleep. With all the requirements for studying, we try to subsidize sleeping as just a side necessity. It is really important to get proper sleep in order to optimize your emotional wellness. And also, as hard as it might seem, you have to relax. With college students, we think our grades are so important. And if we're not at our top game, we can't do anything. That's not the truth. We have to relax. We have to ensure and tell ourselves that everything is going to be okay at the end of the day. We've got to be okay. The way I promote my own emotional wellness is I have my own skincare routine that I do at the end of the day and the beginning of my day to kind of have a moment to myself, to reset, to relax, and reflect on everything I'm going to do and what I've done in the day. Another thing I do is I exercise pretty frequently. It's either very demanding at the gym with weights and HIIT exercises, or it's a simple walk. Even when I'm not at my 100%, I keep pushing myself to even just go on a walk because it's something.
Yes, thank you, Gabby. I guess for me, very similar to Gabby, I 100% would agree with you in saying that we overlook our grades nowadays. We are willing to fight for our career life. We are willing to fight for our grades at the risk of our health, at the risk of our, especially our emotional health. So a lot of us, we tend to not really take care of ourselves, and that sometimes can be detrimental. So one way of how I take care of myself is through affirmations, through knowing that I can get over the hard challenges. Sometimes for me, the hard challenges come and it just seems it's impossible to get over it. It's just seems so easy. It just seems so much easier to just say, okay, I'm going to leave. I'm going to hide in a corner. I'm going to make sure that no one can see me. So this way I'll be safe. But knowing that I am enough, knowing that I am worthy, knowing that your self-worth isn't on the table to be negotiated, it was really important. Next.
So now we want to have a little bit of your engagement. We want to know how you're feeling today. And Delvine is going to explain how we're going to do that.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So before we dive in any further into the presentation and this amazing workshop, we're kind of interested in knowing how you exactly are feeling today. So I'm gonna post a link in the chat and it's to Mentimeter. And essentially what's gonna happen is it will ask you to put in a few words, whether it's one word or two, to describe how you're feeling today. And then as you put in some words, these common feelings or emotions that we're encountering, they will appear on the Wordle or the word cloud that you'll see on the screen in a few seconds. So right now it's saying loading, possibly because everyone is probably typing their emotions in. And so we're just gonna wait until these load.
Tony, I'm actually really curious. How are you feeling today? Let's talk it through.
Yes, I am feeling I am feeling very peaceful today because I had 8 hours of sleep. I woke up and I felt like the world belonged to me. I know that sounds very strange, but I felt like I really want to emphasize on the importance of sleep. I think it really can, like, whatever you do, you can do it better with sleep. It goes from taking a test to focusing in a lecture to even just having conversations with your loved ones. I feel like with more sleep, you're less likely to be very reactive. You're more patient. You're less likely to snap at other people, and you make decisions that you're less likely to regret. What about you, Gabby?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not one for having coffee in the morning, so like having that dopamine and serotonin just run through me in the morning is always such a great feeling. And I feel really calm and relaxed. I've listened to some music this morning to get my feelings up. We have a comment in the chat. They said they're feeling really calm today, that the sunny weather is helping their mood. And that's great because that's a great source of vitamin D that helps with your emotional wellness. If anybody else wants to put it in the chat while the Mentimeter is still loading up, feel free to do so.
Thank you, Gabby. I feel like we're experiencing some technical delays. However, on my end, I can see a lot of us are feeling very happy, excited, energized, but at the same time sleepy and anxious, which are really, I feel like they're fair feelings for all of us. We've also felt like that throughout the week. I know I was feeling sleepy yesterday, especially for those 8 a.m. classes, right? So we're really glad that everyone could make it out today, and I'm just going to pass the floor to Gabby now.
Of course. So here's the 3 ways that in this presentation we're going to really focus on enhancing your emotional wellness. There's getting good quality sleep, physical activity, and social interaction and support. These 3 areas that you can focus on can really change and make the difference in your life to overall feel so much better. I know I practice it and I've never regretted it. Next.
Okay, so here is a discussion question for everyone that's tuning in from Zoom currently or from Facebook Live. So, how do you ensure you get a good sleep? So you can think about it, you can write it down. If you would like, we would love if you can share it with us in the chat or in the comments through Facebook Live.
Tony, how do you like to ensure you get good sleep? I want to hear your opinions.
Yes, I I try my best to turn off all the technology an hour before I go to bed. So my designated bedtime is 11:30 p.m. I try to go to bed before midnight, and I have to say it helps a lot when you turn off the technology, when you turn off all of the things you have to do, when you stop worrying, when you say, you know what, I've done enough for today. For the last hour of my day, I deserve to have some peace. I deserve to take care of myself. I deserve to breathe and know that I did well and not worry about my life 24/7. What about you, Gabby?
Um, Before I do mine, I'm gonna just comment on some that I'm getting in the chat. One person loves meditating before bed. That makes a really great difference, and I totally agree. That's incredible to do. And Dalvine says that she likes to take a walk and call friends. It's one of her favorite things to do. I totally agree. Don't mind my dog; he's just there. And then Danny said putting her phone away and reading instead of going to bed.
Yes. So we do have a technical difficulty, but we will continue. So next slide. So how do you ensure you have good sleep hygiene? So as you can see, we have some tips for you. We have a few ways that we can stick with our sleep hygiene. And as some of you have already mentioned, avoid using devices within an hour of going to bed. Spending some time outside. That vitamin D, that sunlight is crucial for our well-being because it does increase our vitamin D level, but it also makes production of melanin. So that's the hormone that makes us feel sleepy, and and sticking to a sleep schedule very important because our circadian rhythm, we got to stick with one, and that will actually decrease the sleep quantity we need and increase the quality. So anyway, from those that are just tuning in from Facebook Live, welcome to our emotion wellness sessions. We really appreciate everyone sticking along with us. Next slide, please. So because Gabby is not here, we will skip an exercise temporarily, but we will get back to it. So why is physical activity very important to emotional wellness? Well, according to the statistics, even just hours, even just an hour walking or 15 minutes of running reduces risk of depression by 26%. And depression, it's something that's getting more and more common nowadays, especially with college students like ourselves. Depression is something that's very dangerous, and it can hurt us a lot when we don't take care of ourselves properly. So exercise can benefits us from many different ways. Yes, of course, Delvine. So exercise releases tensions in the body caused by the anxiety. It increases your mood. It decreases your cortisol. And also it helps you psychologically as well as physiologically. So next slide. So what are some of the benefits of interactions in emotional wellness? Um, so social wellness really plays an important role because social wellness means connection. And especially nowadays where the pandemic is happening, a lot of us we are feeling more pressure than normal, and some of us are more isolated than normal. And sometimes we get this sense of loneliness coming in, and loneliness is extremely um, damaging to our social wellness. And social wellness plays a key role in emotional wellness. They correlate with each other. So, for example, so social wellness increase positivity and optimism. So sometimes when you are tired, sometimes when you feel like you've just done a long task and you are feeling very sleepy, you are not feeling very motivated, talking to a friend will can definitely help you out.
A
So
hundred. I totally agree.
yeah.
I think I have a great story. Sorry, I booted out for a minute. You know, sometimes not the everything in life is reliable like Wi-Fi. Um, I think I have a really great story for that.
Hmm.
From age, I'm going to say 7 to about 14, I didn't have many. Whenever I would try to ask little kids at school, hey, do you want to hang out? Hey, I have this cool idea for us to do together. Why not do it together? It was always a no. So I spent many of those years just by myself, trying to cope and and develop ways that I can be okay staying by myself. And I think I did, and it really helps for right now, especially in the pandemic. And starting in high school, I started getting really nervous about asking people to hang out or joining certain clubs because I was always afraid that it was going to be a no again, just like those instances in my past. But I started reassuring myself once I started growing and started understanding myself that it's them, it's not me. I'm okay. If I don't try, no one else is going to try. And if I shut myself out, it's not going to help. And over time now, I've been really, really striving to get past it. And I think I'm succeeding. And I don't also think, I know I'm succeeding because I'm here and I'm happy and I'm okay. Next.
Shall we do the the meditation exercise, Gabby?
Oh
So
my God, I would love to.
yes.
So before I got kicked out, we wanted to focus for physical wellness to really start doing a meditation and learning how to breathe. So guess what? I'm going to teach you what I like to do for a 2-minute meditation. So if everybody wants to participate, I would love it. It's going to help. It's going to feel great. Let's do this. Okay. So wherever you are, close your eyes. And if you're not comfortable, just look at the floor and put your hands on your knees. Bring attention to your body in your seat, and your feet on the floor, and notice how it feels. Keep your back straight, but make sure you're comfortable. Start breathing in and out. While you breathe, relax your head, relax your neck, and relax your shoulders. As we keep breathing, we'll start to relax our arms, our wrists, and our fingertips. Through filling your lungs, relax your stomach, relax your legs, and relax your feet. Each time you breathe in and out, the tension in your body releases a little bit more. If your mind starts to wander or you start to feel distracted, try to focus back on your breath and watch as the thoughts and feelings swarming around your head just whisk away. Now we're going to take a couple seconds to keep breathing in this state. Now, as we end this portion of our meditation, keep focusing on the deep breathing, but as you do, start moving your head from right to left to start awakening the body. You can roll your shoulders back, wiggle your fingers, move your legs from side to side, and wiggle your toes. And once you're ready, open your eyes. This is something I like to do from time to time when I start to feel the stress and anxiety. And once I do this, I always feel so much better and so much more relaxed. And I am able to continue my day so gracefully and effectively. So, how can you avoid sabotaging your emotional wellness? As I mentioned before in the beginning, you have to tune into your thoughts and feelings. You have to acknowledge that these feelings are happening and find ways that you can avert those feelings and just forgive yourself. It's acknowledging that these feelings are going to happen and these intrusive thoughts are going to happen, but you have to accept yourself and forgive it. You also have to find ways to turn the situation and make it optimistic. The grass is always greener on the other side, but if you allow yourself to see that green foliage in your own backyard, it feels amazing, and you can realize that not every single instance is the end of the world, and it feels so good. Also learning time management skills, because I know myself, sometimes I know that procrastination is not just a habit, it's a disease, and you have to learn how to really avert it and understand how to use your time effectively throughout the day. And we can practice stress management skills like the meditation I just led everyone through. And find meaning and be your true self. You don't have to worry about what other people think of you. You matter to you, and that's all that should be in your life. And you'll be okay. Next.
Okay, so like Gabby, I wanted to share some of my personal experience. Um, Interestingly, just past this September, I was, just glancing through Sheridan, looking at the news, seeing what's up, and trying to see if there's anything exciting happening. Maybe I can sign up for something. So as I was scrolling through Sheridan Central, and for those of you, for our first-term students, Sheridan Central is a portal that has a lot of the Sheridan Insider news. It's a great way to catch some of the Sheridan news, and also there are many opportunities up there as well. So I was looking at Sheridan Central, and I came across this band. They're called CZN, and I was like, oh, interesting. So I looked them up and I realized they are formed by a bunch of Sheridan students. And recently they have won Canadian Families Got Talent. If you don't know what that is a talent show, which the winner and perhaps the runner up as well, they get to perform in America's Got Talent next year. So the first millisecond when I saw that, I was like, Tony, what have you been doing with your life? Like, look at this person, look at these guys. They are, they're being successful. They get to talk to Simon Cowell. They're going to America's Got Talent. They're achieving a lot of things. I was like, Tony, what are you doing with your life? So I felt this tremendous amount of shame washes over me. And I know that shame is a very sensitive word, so I'm just going to define what I mean by shame. So if you define it differently and I use the word afterward, you know what I'm talking about. So I define shame as that warm washes of feeling that washes over me and immediately makes me feel like I just suddenly worth nothing. That I suddenly worth that I suddenly am not worthy to talk to anyone, that if someone else find out this about me, like they'll never talk to me again. I felt like a fraud. I felt like an imposter. I felt like I'm just like not worthy, just not good enough to, be me. That like just totally me. I'm not good enough. That's what shame feels like to me. So I realized I was in shame, and I decided to stand up, not look at it anymore, and just started pacing because that's something that I do when I'm in those shame moments. I pace and I make sure I don't talk to anyone because I don't want to say something that I don't need to say. So as I was reflecting, I felt that my worthiness was being attacked. I felt that I have to have a prerequisite of feeling worthy. I felt that from I don't know since when, but our society really makes us feel like ordinary isn't enough. It makes us feel like having an ordinary life, you don't have to, like if you would love to go out there and compete and achieve, yes, you should totally do it. You should strive for excellence. But there's also the part where we have to, self accept and say like it's okay. You don't have to win a regional award to be worthy. You don't have to you don't have to necessarily get a degree to feel that you are worthy. There are no prerequisites to worthiness. You are worthy of love and belonging right now. You are good enough right now. And that was something powerful that I realized. And I started looking around me and I just realized this, our, how much we strive for extraordinary. It's very toxic, especially on social media, such as Instagram. A lot of us nowadays, especially teenagers, we base our self-worth on the amount of likes we get. If 2,000 people didn't like my Instagram post, then I'm going to feel depressed for the rest of the day. Then my Disney trip somehow suddenly wasn't worth going to because these people didn't agree with me. If I tune in Instagram live and only 10 people came, then I'm feeling upset. So I realize this is becoming a phenomenon, and I think that this is a really big problem that we have nowadays. And I feel like one way that we can sort of we can get out of it and is to recognize that that doesn't have to, you know, you can go for money, you can go for fame, you can go for the extraordinary things, but you don't have to, knowing that you have power in doing what you want in life. So I feel like owning our story, it's very important when it comes to emotional wellness. It's very important when it comes to change. So to sum up my story, as I know it's a bit long, so I really wish this is what I've learned. I've learned that we need to show up more in our lives, show up to the challenges, make ourselves be seen, even if it means you feel extremely little, extremely dangerous, make yourself be seen, own your story, because when you run away from your story, it defines you. When you own your story, you have you have the power to write the ending and be courageous. Because when you are being brave, when you are being courageous, you affect many other people as well. We humans are contagious. Our actions have an effect on other people. When you choose to be brave, every single day with your life, you make a bigger impact than you can ever imagine. Thank you. So yeah,
That's
that's my
really
story.
strong. That's really strong of you, Tony, to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. So we just want to move on to gratitude journaling. So I will first briefly explain what gratitude journaling is. So essentially, it's a tool in bettering our emotional wellness because sometimes we don't pay attention to the little things that matters in our lives. We, again, going back to the extraordinary, we only feel that we deserve to be happy when something big happens. We only feel deserve to be happy when we graduated from our program. when we went to Disney. You know, if we didn't have those things, if we were just, if it's just an ordinary day happened, somehow we feel like we shouldn't feel happy that day because it happened every single day. So essentially, gratitude journey reminds us of how the little things in life matters, and they do play a role in our happiness. So we just want to do an activity. So we're asking everyone from Zoom right now, as well as Facebook Live, what are you grateful for? So we would ask you to perhaps say in your own head, or write it down on a piece of paper, whatever you feel comfortable with. But have 5 things. Try to come up with 5 things that you're grateful for, and they don't have to be big things. They can be big things. You definitely, like, the things you've achieved. You definitely should feel proud for them. But I really want to say that maybe try to find out a few about the small things as well. For example, it can be, I woke up today and I felt like I had enough sleep, or I'm grateful because there's a roof over my head, or I'm grateful because I get to have breakfast. Those really small things. And if you would like, we would love if you can share with us. Please share us in the chat. Please share us in the comments, Facebook Live. And again, thank you for everyone for sticking with us this far. We really appreciate you taking the time to take care of your emotional wellness.
Absolutely. And I wanted just to add in, while we're getting all the comments and the chats from everywhere, that it doesn't have to be a prompt every day of, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. There are so many different prompts you can have. Some examples are, what's one thing I'm looking forward to today? Or what did I appreciate about my former job? Or another one is, what do I appreciate about the home I live in? There are so many different avenues to write about in your gratitude journal. It doesn't have to be this black and white thing of just, I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful for this, and and then in another reiteration, I'm again grateful for this. There are so many different prompts that you could use in a gratitude journal to make it seem something you can do that's always new and exciting to add to your daily routine. I saw that Delvine said that she was grateful and for the sunshine today. Where I'm coming from, it's a little bit overcast, but I feel that sun beaming down from the clouds, and it feels great. All right. As we're heading to the end of our session, we also want to acknowledge that at Sheridan, we have multiple different avenues that if you need resources to get help to ensure your emotional wellness is at the best it can possibly be, we have those resources. At the Student Union, we have a service called Empower Me that we have counselors on video chat, telephone, and any kind of counseling. We have a helpline with counselors that speak any language that you feel most comfortable in, and we are there to help you. We want to make sure you're at the best you can be. Also, in the Sheridan College capacity, we have Ask an Advisor. We have advisors that are there for emotional wellness, for career, for any academic purposes. If you are struggling in any type of way, there are multiple resources to help you, and we want to acknowledge that you're not alone in this, and we want to help you. Next. So to end off today, we want to thank you all for joining us, and we want to ask you guys if there's any questions you have for us. But just to acknowledge, we are not medical professionals. There are some things, unfortunately, we don't know. And if we don't know the answer, we're going to truly tell you we don't know. But if there's anything in our wheelhouse that we do know, we're going to try our hardest to answer those questions and bring from our personal lives how we were able to help certain situations and overcome it. So if there's any questions you may have, please put it in the chat or in the Facebook Live chat. Let's read what's going on in the chat. So we had some more inputs from what people are grateful for. One person's grateful for their supportive friends, which is always great to have allies with them. And then another person put, they're so grateful for the beautiful fall foliage. I've noticed it too, and it is beautiful. It's great. It's a beautiful hue of orange and reds, and it always makes me really happy. Tony, what are you grateful for? We haven't answered that question.
I am really grateful for, I think, to have internet access. I feel like because I know that a lot of people out there don't. It's really easy to, especially when you're having a bad day, you feel like you're the most unfortunate person on the like in earth. Like there's no one that have it worse than you. But I like, and I'm not saying that, if you are having a day where it's just not going well, I'm not saying you have to force yourself to be grateful. Like you have the right to complain, you have the right to feel upset. That's part of the human experience as well. But really be aware, like really, I wanted to be aware of more like my surroundings and what's happening out there. And especially, watching some of the news out there and really hearing some of the unfortunate stuff. I think I'm just so grateful for being able to continue my studies even with this uh, not so good time. So yes, I'm very grateful for my internet connection. So I
I
get to
wish I
have
could.
access to outside the world.
That's really funny because I'm grateful for the fact that even with the complication I've had to experience within this workshop of my Wi-Fi deciding to say goodbye, that I'm still here. I'm still here and I'm still standing, and I have no worries. I have no stress that came from it. To full disclosure, I'm getting a new Wi-Fi and it's not working too great in our benefit. And yesterday, for instance, I was so worried that it would kick me out of my classes that I've been like striving and wanting to excel in, and it just decided to not work. I kept on doing my breathing, and I was able to be okay, and grateful the fact that there's other things in my life. I have a roof over my head. I have a phone that works that I can call back in, and it just makes me so appreciative of everything I have, even if some things are not working out.
Yes, my favorite part of the entire presentation was definitely the 2-minute meditation that you gave us, Gabby. It was really amazing, and I absolutely loved it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So again, if anyone has any comments, questions, please feel free to share with us, whether from Zoom or Facebook Live. We would love to hear from you. If you're interested in hearing something more, again, please contact us. Whether through Ask an Advisor, whether through Empower Me, or whether just contact us through SSU. We would love to hear from you. We really are here for you. We have our staff here are amazing. They really do. I feel like our staff here at Sheridan, they really do care about the students, and I feel like we have a wonderful Sheridan community.
I totally agree. Well, if we don't have any more comments or questions that we can discuss, I want to thank you all for coming today. It has been really great to experience this time with all of you, and I hope that you would come and join our different events in the future with us. So I'd like to thank you all for coming. Bye, guys.